You know that feeling, right? When you're stuck in a system that's supposed to help you, but it just feels like one giant barrier. Whether it's healthcare, social support, whatever, the very safety nets that are designed to catch us can turn into these frustrating, impossible mazes. Well, today, we're going to look at how innovators are finally starting to fix this, turning these confusing processes into actual, clear pathways to the help people really need. All right, so here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll get a handle on just how big this administrative problem really is. Then, we're going to talk about the real human cost of all that complexity. After that, we dive into the good stuff, the cool digital, community, and financial solutions people are building. And we'll wrap up by imagining a totally new, proactive way of doing things. So, first up, let's define the problem. The issue isn't always a lack of benefits. It's a system so tangled, so full of hoops and holes, it honestly feels like it's designed to keep people out. I mean, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? For so many people, this is their reality. Researchers hear this one phrase over and over: administrative ping pong. You get bounced from one office to another, filling out tons of different forms for different benefits, and each one has its own rules, its own gatekeepers. It's just exhausting. And here's what that confusion leads to. Get this. One study found that up to 90% of applications for some benefits were handed in wrong. 90%. Now, that's not because people are being careless. That's a direct symptom of a broken system. It's an incredible waste of time for everyone, and it delays help for people who desperately need it. So, here's the bottom line. All that hassle, all that friction, it creates what's called a claim gap. We're talking between 35 and 60% of people who are legally entitled to support, they just give up. They never get the benefits that could change their lives, all because the maze is just too hard to get through. And that brings us to our next point, because this isn't just about being frustrated. It has a very, very real cost, especially for the most vulnerable among us. Let's take a look at the impact on homeless youth to really understand what's at stake here. Yeah, there's this term in economics, opportunity cost. And for a young person who's homeless, life is about survival right now. Every single hour they spend trying to figure out a government form, or traveling to an office, or just waiting in a line, that's an hour they're not spending finding food or a safe place to sleep. Dealing with bureaucracy is a luxury they literally can't afford. But this is where some really new thinking is coming in. A thesis out of the Yale School of Public Health looked at an app called DreamKit. And this model you see here, it visualizes a completely different way to tackle this exact problem for homeless youth. It's all about flipping the script. And check this out. This is how DreamKit's model directly attacks that opportunity cost. See, instead of asking young people to give up their precious time for nothing up front, DreamKit actually pays them with small, immediate cash transfers for doing things that build their skills. It's all on their phone, and it values their time and effort. It makes self-improvement a real choice, not some costly sacrifice. DreamKit is an incredible example of fresh thinking. But what about fixing the system itself? Let's talk about how technology can give everyone a clear roadmap through that administrative jungle. The experts say the fixes aren't some kind of magic. They're just good engineering. First, just create one central place for all the information. Second, design the application like a decision tree, so you only see questions that actually apply to you. Third, automatically generate a simple checklist of the documents you need. Fourth, build in better tools for scanning and uploading stuff from your phone. And finally, use automation to check if an application is even complete before a person wastes time looking at it. These are practical steps that could make a world of difference. Okay, but let's be real. Technology alone is never the whole answer, right? The real change happens on the ground, in our communities, with people we trust. And one of the most powerful and maybe surprising community hubs we have? The public library. This quote is from a library director who's part of a digital literacy program. It just shows that librarians are on the front lines. They see this need every single day. And the scale of what they're doing is pretty amazing. Since 2022, this program has helped libraries train over 19,000 people. Public libraries are becoming these vital digital navigators. They're the trusted guides helping people in their communities get online, get skills, and access everything from job applications to social benefits. So, we've got brilliant ideas, we've got dedicated people, which brings us to the big practical question. Who pays for all this? Where does the money actually come from? Well, it turns out the funding landscape is, you guessed it, just as much of a maze as the benefit system. Money for these kinds of tools and programs comes from all over the place. You've got government programs like Medicare and Medicaid, federal grants, private insurance, the VA, nonprofits, even some employer programs. It's a whole web of sources. And trying to get money from any one of those sources means jumping through a whole new set of hoops. Just as an example, to get Medicaid to cover a piece of assistive tech, you have to pass the specific 3-part test. You have to be eligible, the device has to be on their list of fundable items, and you have to prove it's medically necessary. It's just another layer of complexity that you need an expert to help you get through. All right, so let's wrap this up by taking all these ideas, smarter tech, community support, innovative models, and just imagine where this could all lead. What if we didn't just fix the maze? What if we got rid of it completely? I mean, this is the big one. This question could change everything. Right now, the entire burden is on the individual. You have to prove you're eligible. You have to prove you need help. But what if we just flipped that entire idea on its head? What if the system was designed from the start to make sure you get the support you're legally entitled to? And this quote just perfectly captures what that future could look like. The government already has a lot of this data. It's just siloed in different places. Imagine if those systems could talk to each other. Instead of you hunting for a form, the state could just reach out and say, hey, our records show you qualify for this. Do you want it? That simple shift from a reactive maze to a proactive guide, that's the ultimate goal here. That's how we truly fix the social safety net.